Good morning, everyone. I hope this video finds you in the best of health and spirits, pink of health and spirits. This video is going to be a continuation of my earlier video on the automation of education. The title of this video, I think, is an extremely important topic worth dissecting to the very basic level, and it's worth discussing at an elaborate level of detail. The title of this video is How Automation of Education Can Help Developing Countries Leapfrog Developments in the Long Term. Okay, this is my sequel to the video Automation of Education, Flawed Written in Half Solution or Epoch Making Game Changer. Okay, read my earlier papers and my book on pedagogy also, and my criticism of current approaches to learning, which needs to change in the 21st century as we move towards a meritocracy. There is too much emphasis on rote learning, no innovation and creative um, techniques are taught. Scientific method is not taught. Ability to distinguish between science and pseudoscience is not available. There is no career-oriented education. Okay, there is no proper skilling. Of course, we are making course corrections to address this, even at a national level and in many states in India, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, they're making Telangana. They're making some steps to address this, Bihar, etc. And the changes need to come about in the post-internet era and the post-globalized era, which have not come about. This will happen willy-nilly, slowly, etc. And pseudoscience is still rampant. Okay, of course, there is a descendant. There is a marked generation difference between the older generation and the younger generation. It needs to become more pronounced and marked. Okay, automation currently may seem to be an over top, the top solution, but it may become mainstream eventually. We are trying to look at the future in the long term. This may happen, this may actually need to happen. What exactly is leapfrogging? The term I've used, the term leapfrogging here, it's a very interesting term. Leapfrogging is a concept used by many people in many domains of economics and business fields. It was heavily initially developed in the area of industrial organization and economic growth and economics and business science, management science. The main idea behind the concept of leapfrogging is that small and incremental innovations help a dominant firm stay ahead. However, we may have a dark horse. Somebody may come from behind and overtake you. Okay, through radical innovations or through creative and innovative thinking. Okay, through out of the box thinking, radical thinking. Okay, we have had attempts to automate teaching in India. However, this will happen quite slowly. It will not happen quickly, fast. And we have had, for example, Iris, India's first AI teacher robot. School in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala has unveiled this robo. Okay, it was India's first generative artificial intelligence robo, which was named Iris. Okay, debuted 1 or 2 years ago, and it was unveiled by Maker Labs EduTech. This is powered by cutting-edge robotics and generative AI technology. It also features an inbuilt voice assistant and runs on an Intel chipset. Okay, this is clad in a sari and interacted with video. It tries to adopt recursive learning. It is also a humanoid robot with wheels which can move out in the classroom. Okay, it has also been developed, deployed in Guwahati, Assam. Okay, and this has been developed under the Atal Tinkering Lab project by Niti Aayog. This is our think tank, famous Indian economic think tank, which is a successor to the Planning Commission, was dismantled a couple of years ago. Okay, this approach to teaching through robots, artificial intelligence, uh, attempts to envisages to revolutionize traditional teaching and respond to queries as far as possible. It may not become perfect as yet, but they're still making rapid breakthroughs. And this teacher is currently proficient in 3 languages, and eventually it will become proficient in 20 languages or so, and has become quite popular with students, at least for its novelty value. Though on the basis of its merit, it will need to be evaluated and it will become mainstream, we hope. And we had another robot similarly called Shalu. Okay, this was a social and educational humanoid robot. This was developed by Dinesh Kunwar Patel. Okay, he was a teacher from Mumbai. He was a Kendriya Vidyalaya computer science teacher. This was also built using waste and recycled material, and this could teach 6 subjects in 47 languages. Okay, it is deployed in Kendriya Vidyalaya in Mumbai, and it teaches students from class 6 to class 11. Okay, in Geetam in Andhra Pradesh also, they are trying to make virtual state of the art smart classrooms possible. Okay, this has been enabled in the Geetam School of Business in Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam. Okay, This has been equipped with cutting edge technology, and newly introduced smart classrooms include interactive boards, projectors, audiovisual aids. Okay, this lead to faster and inculcate a interactive and a bidirectional highly engaged learning environment for students. And more universities are likely to jump into the bandwagon also. We also need to have computer based education and computer based learning. This was introduced in the 1970s as a concept. It involves the use of computers in education, including the development of higher order thinking. It also inculcates and fosters, nurtures solving skills and advanced abilities in students. Okay, this is also associated with CBT or computer based training or CBI computer based instruction. And another concept that is emerging is now is rapidly is e-learning or electronic learning. Okay, and many students have many teachers and students and learners and pedagogists have found that computer-based instruction, while it has a couple of disadvantages, of course, we must always make sure that education has human touch. And I don't believe in technology for technology's sake. It does have many distinct and major. It does have many major advantages. This includes improved concentration and comprehension on the basis of students, encourages critical thinking in students, promotes student flexibility and autonomy, facilitates communication between teachers and students, increase classroom productivity and collaborative work. It stimulates motivation. It makes use of laptops, whiteboards, tablets, televisions, interactive TVs, even smartphones, projectors, PowerPoint presentations are used, and audiovisual aids are used, and audiovisual effects are used, and social media is also used to promote learning. Okay, and used computer based learning can be used in teaching, learning, research, instruction, computing, administrative management, etc. Okay, we also have other concepts such as computer assisted education or CAI, which is the use of computers to provide instruction directly to the learner. Okay, and use of computers to instruct or drill students. This is also called a computer assisted learning, CAL. Computer based instruction or CBI is the use of computers to present instructional material to the students and provide their active participation. We have CMI or computer managed instruction, which is the use of computers to coordinate instructional activities such as teaching, testing, record keeping, individualizing plans, and to report all the facets of the concept of component of education. Computer assisted learning, CAL. Okay, computer based training, CBT. Computer managed learning, CML, etc. And this can be used to automate lessons or tutorials, to automate drills, okay, practice sessions, and it can be used to provide intelligence simulations and trainings, instructional games. It can be used to provide expert and specialized systems to people. It can be used to provide computer managed instructions. It can be used to hone people's critical thinking and problem solving skills to perfection, and provide marks exercises and instructional games also. Okay, there are many other advantages of computer based training also, because computers, unlike teachers, are available all the time. The teacher wishes to learn, he can learn at his own pace and at his own convenience, rather than being confined to the uh, times that are convenient to the teacher. Computers can never tired, they can never lose their temper, they're eternally patient. Learner can learn at his own pace and convenience. Some learners are less scared by machines than by teachers. Learning by computers also can be made a personalized process, though this is by no means easy. We'll have to work towards this, make in this direction. Computer learning also can be less expensive because teachers charge a bomb. They can be expensive. They're becoming increasingly more expensive. And average intelligent students can also learn at their own convenience. Specialized techniques and courses can be made available in parallel for less than average students. Those with handicaps, mental, physical handicaps, or learning disabilities, those who have linguistic challenges, not proficient to confront a challenge. The classes can be delivered in a mix of English and the local language, or entirely in the local language, even though they may want to write exams in English, the dominant language. Okay, and CA methodology also can be effective when the subject matter does not change effectively over time. Okay, if changes may require reprogramming of CA, otherwise we have to upload the new content. The days of reprogramming are gone. And for example, history, fundamentals of arithmetic, physics, etc., the same course can be repeated again and again. And computers are very good adept at providing repetitive training without any loss of reliability or consistency. Okay, training of personnel, etc., can be done very easily. Okay, and students can practice the skills again and again, 3 4 times. They are allowed, they will be able to listen to the same video again and again till they become perfect in it. Okay, learning software packages such as human software packages without human teachers can help learners learn very fast, and teachers are then used to provide additional tasks where their presence is really necessary. Okay, humdrum, monotonous, tedious tasks can be automated or can be uh, manual intervention can be cut down in these tasks. Therefore, it will provide much greater quality, consistency, reliability, repeatability also. And again, instead of brick and mortar universities, brick and mortar universities, university that primarily offers in-person instruction on physical campus. These are also known as traditional universities, traditional institutions, traditional colleges, etc. We had Oxford, Cambridge, uh, Harvard University, Princeton University, etc. All these universities are there. Instead, nowadays, distance education is being promoted. We have Indira Gandhi National Open University, no? Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Open University, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, Tamil Nadu Open University, Karnataka State Open University. This is our a failed university. And distance education can be provided in higher courses to begin with. Lower courses, it will take a lot of time. Quality content can therefore be provided. Big and mortar courses can be bypassed entirely, but can also be made available in parallel. Virtual classrooms can be encouraged and promoted. Online content can be provided. Bilingual content can be provided. Please refer to my theory of linguistic expectation, non-linguistic expectation, linguistic sweet spot, economic sweet spot, etc. Students can be allowed to network with each other. This is also possible. One criticism of this type of education, students are not in contact with each other, but this can be overcome by making them collaborate on social media. Exams can be taken online without any compromise in quality, and quality and consistency can be enforced through live recording, which can be provided in multiple languages as well. Of course, I have written about lexical development of non-dominant languages also needs to be pursued at the same time. Okay, AI in education also will enable educators to create engaging simulations, personalized quizzes, adaptive exercises, which are tailored to the students' learning patterns and abilities. Recursive learning can be adopted, implemented. Personalized approach can be adapted. Adaptive approaches can be done. This will lead to better quality, reduction in cost, and automation of teaching, which can also lead to an elimination of bad ways of teaching. Many teachers are bad. You don't have good quality teachers in India, and this is a very bottleneck, major bottleneck. Even if we can train them, they will have other handicaps and abilities because they may not lack knowledge, and much more importantly, they lack um, skills in a teaching skills in a dominant language such as English, which the tutors may want. Okay. However, there are some dangers associated with the automation and AI. It may compromise creativity, may compromise ability of students to think independently. Human touch may be lost. Human guidance is also extremely important. Human traits may not be replicable in AI. Okay, because morals, ethics, values can be taught by teachers only, may compromise quality in some cases, and languages may not be developed. So, if you want to teach in Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Hindi, etc., these languages need to be developed lexically. Also, we have discussed this previously, and this can help bridge the dichotomy between global north and global south because quality of education is much better in developed countries like USA, and India only private schools outshine others. And this can bridge the dichotomy between the global north and global south. It can help the economies of countries like India to take off because education is one of the major drivers of the economy. Okay, and again here the causes for differentials between the global north and south developed and developing countries must be understood and analyzed. Can be bridged with um, uh, through the automation of education in the long term. This is of course a double-edged sword, can be used carefully, must be used carefully. Customization must always be attempted to local conditions, cultural conditions. Tweaking must be done for Indian context, or suppose it's some other country, Nigeria, it must for Nigerian context also. Cultural adaptation is always therefore required, and it must be driven by ethnographic data and social science research techniques, which I have spoken about, surveys, questionnaires, interviews, etc. I've written about all these extensively previously. We must understand that. And pilot studies also need to be carried out. And as more and more data is readily available, readily presents itself, methods and techniques can be honed to perfection. You also have a major mother of all debates as far as education is concerned. English versus mother tongue debates, because English has taken off in a big way as a global language, and within India also it is a India is a multilingual country, so English is only viable neutral link language. So in fact, different from China. I have written about the differences between India and China because China is not multilingual and India is multilingual. I have written 13 points of difference between these two countries. Please refer to my papers on language dynamics and origin of language also. There are rabid English proponents like Anchelaya. There are rabid mother tongue proponents also for anti-English. Extreme positions are not possible because it lead to legal complications. Both streams must be allowed. We have no other option. We cannot eliminate English completely now. Mother tongue education, I believe, must be made more attractive. Okay, this is particularly true for people from lower social economic backgrounds because knowledge is important, not just language. English can be picked up. You also have what is known as a transferable skill approach. And as and when students get older, they can learn more English. Quality of education, of course, must be improved. There's no substitute for this. Automation and partial automation of education eventually can help realize this dream or the goal. Okay, at higher levels, English may remain the preferred choice, though other languages could be promoted for many courses. Some courses like MBBS don't require that much um, um, user interaction. Therefore, technical knowledge here is more important than software and engineering courses. So already MBBS is being promoted in Hindi and other languages. Okay, and anti-English proponents, please make note of my work on cultural language dynamics and to see why English survives in India. Okay, and at lower levels, of course, no complete replacement of teachers is possible. Okay, again. There are some more advantages. It can overcome the automation of teaching can eventually overcome linguistic barriers. It can overcome poor quality of teaching. It can benefit developing countries in relative terms. It can help developing countries catch up with developed. It can help overcome racism by making developing countries strong because the developed countries look down upon developing countries. There is racism. They say that quality of resources in countries such as India is poor. This can catapult education to a much higher league, and it can make Indian resources or resources from other developing countries competent and on par, capable on par with the best quality of resources that are gestated in other developed countries. Okay, quality of poverty problem of poor teachers is overcome. Okay, and this is surmounted. Consistency also I have spoken about, and both in learning and teaching output and learning outcomes, which and there is also generally better learning formats due to audio visual aids. There is a saying in English, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, and it helps store information and imparts information consistency, and some minor details may not be lost because teacher they review the course content many times before implementing it or making students access to it. Okay, students also will have access to large tomes of information on the internet. Okay, this can also help promote equity and equality. Okay, because there is a big difference currently between elite schools and non-elite schools. This can be bridged, and there will also be better learning of foreign languages, English and other foreign languages as necessary. And I have written about other types of advantages also. For example, countries like Rwanda one have already transitioned from French to English. Burkina Faso is watching this experiment. Even in Congo, there is a gradual pickup of English. Even in Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia have introduced English in a big way. And if you want to provide quality content in a foreign language where you don't have teachers, English can be taught either as a first language. Of course, that is a policy that countries need to take. Some countries like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia want to teach Arabic, and they want to phase out French and replace it with English. And the heart of hearts, many francophone countries also may want to replace French with English. But these automation of education can help, but again, it is only a long-term solution. It is not a temporary or short-term solution. But I always believe in thinking ahead. That's what my specialty and forte all along. Infrastructure must be in place. For example, if you see India, out of the 10 lakh government schools, only 3 lakh schools have proper toilets in place, and out of these, only a small number are functional. We don't have proper tables, chairs, desks in most Indian schools. They are broken. There is no drinking of potable water. There is no transportation facilities. Therefore, automation of education is only a pipe dream, and there are always power outages and power cuts. Reliability of power is a major area of concern, issue and concern in India. Of course, India's power grid has improved considerably in reliability and in terms of uh, power distribution since my childhood in the 70s and 80s. I remember the 70s and 80s. There have been major improvements. Okay, despite the expansion of electricity infrastructure, power outages are still common. Okay, for example, according to a survey conducted in 2016 in rural areas in many of India's states, power outages could be experienced for up to 10, 11 hours a day or even more perhaps. And very, very, very remote hamlets, habitations, and tribal habitations and villages get electricity only for a few hours a day. This is the biggest hurdle and bottleneck to automation of education. And this needs to be solved on a war footing. For example, in the 80s and 90s, I remember the quality of telecom infrastructure in India was extremely pathetic, lousy, very poor. Though Sam Pitroda and others have worked on this very hard, very assiduously, and very sincerely, and they have my kudos and my hats off to them. But we need to have a similar revolution in power delivery as well and power distribution. If you look at discoms and power distribution companies, I think Shekhar Gupta has made a beautiful video about this. They're consistently losing money, okay, and this makes it difficult for them to pay their generators and invest in infrastructure at the same time. Discoms also sometimes use load shedding, or this is also known as rolling backouts. They try to balance supply and demand sometimes unsuccessfully and unfruitfully. And electricity consumption, of course, given the rapid state of economic development in India, has grown faster than the capacity of the grid in many regions. While on the whole, power supply is better than the 70s and 80s, we have still yet to witness a miracle such as has happened in telecom infrastructure due to Sam Petroleum and others. Highways revolution we have had, such as I mean, which was driven by Nitin Gadkari and others. We need to have a similar revolution in place. Unfortunately, the ball is in the court of the states, not the central government in majority of cases. We must work towards such a miracle happening in India and other developing countries. Now we have what do we have? We have some kind of a magic wand here. Okay, this is known as solar power. India's solar power has, of course, improved rapidly, impressively, but we still have a long way to go to catch up with China and even with some other developing countries. In the 15s and 60s, solar power was so impractical, so expensive, it was used by some space stations alone only. Now it has become competitive enough, and it has also uh, I mean, undercut coal-based energy in some cases, and some countries like UK have already phased out solar power. Germany may do so. There are one or two solar with the coal-based thermal power fire station which is in use. Coal is a very dirty source of energy. Even Barack Obama and Joe Biden wanted to phase out coal in the US, while Donald Trump, in his first avatar or incarnation, was a supporter of coal. But even in the US, coal is being phased out, it will die in a decade or so. Okay. In 2023, we see India generated only 22% of its energy from clean sources, including solar and wind. Okay. And as of March 31st, 2024, India's solar power capacity was 81.81 GWAC. This includes both solar and roofs power plant. Okay, we are still way behind China. However, of course, this is India's growth in solar energy sector has been impressive. It has increased by 26 times. Okay. And solar alone seems to be shining. Wind sector is very poor. It is still take away. They are coming up with more effective approaches like vibration based energy, etc. And we have other concepts such as ocean based energy, tidal based energy, which is very, very nascent in India and very small. And even within the realm of solar power, we have got new technologies like concentrated solar power, which uses mirrors to focus sunlight onto a receiver. We generate heat that can be used to generate energy. We also have the concept of transparent solar cells, solar farms, floating solar farms, perovskites, which is a mineral class of materials with a specific crystalline nature. This improves the energy of solar panels greatly. It can be used to improve solar energy. Cadmium telluride rooftop solar power generation is also being improved. We have PM Solar Surya Ghar, which is in its infancy. So this must be implemented in all schools, which can become self-sufficient in power. And again, quality of teachers in India is very poor. They cannot speak properly, and they don't have subject knowledge also Automated education also cannot be a substitute for good teachers, because teachers provide succor, empathy, moral values, cultural values. They provide a human touch. They shape students' personality. They impart them with dynamism and vigor. They're especially important. Teachers, especially important to lower grades, etc., can be dispensed with only and when students becomes more emotionally mature. Okay, and please understand all my other works also on ethnography and ethnography for linguistics, pedagogy, etc. And we always need to have a practical and pragmatic approach. Okay, and AI-based robots also must improve. Okay, and it can also help to promote labor arbitrage and cost arbitrage, and to move work towards developing countries. It can help developing countries greatly. And we also have the problem, it can also lead to more outsourcing and offshoring. And we also have the issue of lower birth rates, which is a boon in Asia. But lower birth rates are far better. But we must compensate this with high quality resources. That's why I've written why we need low populations for the environment movement, a low movement and high quality human resources movement. I've also led to sound population management concepts ad infinitum. How this can lead to an evergreen demographic boom. Okay, we also need to be environmentally responsible. We need to have human trusteeship of the planet concept. In some, this approach, automation of education can be a long-term solution, but it can propel and catapult developing countries to an altogether higher league, and it can help developing countries play the catch-up game with developed countries. Or this must be taken seriously, and we must work towards realizing this and bringing this to fruition in the next couple of decades. Thank you very much.